welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Minecraft with me, Inu. Say hi. How's everyone doing today? Good. We shut a door here. We are here at the problem zone, the windmill. Remember this? How I said I was going to do this? Yeah, still haven't gotten around to it. So let's deal with this first thing today. It's becoming a massive issue. You don't know how many times I've emptied out all the seeds out of here and it just fills up so fast to the point we had just loads of items sitting here. So we're gonna have to do two things. I think we're gonna start off with ripping out this floor actually. And the reason for that is because I don't think there's enough space here for everything we want to do. So I've decided let's just build into the ground a little bit and make the underneath pretty as well and put all our redstone there. So we're gonna want to get rid of all of this. Down here in a putting area that I definitely did a lot of work in. None. What is this? This looks horrendous. Bed is floating. We're gonna have to make all of this pretty, but first comes the redstone. So let's talk about what we want to do here. So there's two main goals here. First is we're gonna take the wheat and make it into hail bales to compress it down so we don't have to take as much storage space. And secondly, we're gonna have to separate the wheat seeds out of the wheat and hopefully bone meal these and then compress the bone meal into bone blocks. That's what it's called, the bone blocks. And this farm is actually so fast. It brings in so much stuff here that this needs to be a fairly quick system because it can get clogged with just one hopper. So let's see if we can do it. Okay, we've tied it up slightly here. Not perfectly, it seems, since we still have dirt walls over here, but we have a little bit more space now to do some redstone. So let's talk about it here. I think we're going to start off with an item sorter. That seems like the obvious step because we're going to need to split apart the seeds and the wheat itself before we can do anything else. So this is currently the chest that all our stuff is getting put into. And then if there's anything in the chest, it should get put into the dropper, but I've removed the redstone for now. I'm thinking we're going to have to move this up a couple blocks. Give us a little bit more space to work with. I'm not sure how much higher I can take it. This is the little thing that sends out the minecart as soon as it's empty. So we're going to want to keep that and move it up a little bit. And then it's item sorter time. So let's get on to that. Okay, I set up the item filters here. So I think they should work like this even if they're connected. I'm pretty sure it's a tileable design. So we've got wheat and wheat seeds in here. And here's item filters. And I think no matter what we put in here, it should end up in the respective hoppers. And I have a little crafter here. So this is the chain that is going into the chests up there. So these are going to be the wheat, I think. Behold, my accidental genius. This thing is working great. But we're out of wheat to demonstrate it, aren't we? Is there any up here? Yeah, there is. So let's talk about it. So I'm just going to dump a bit of wheat here. And it gets separated down into this hopper, which will... Oh, thanks. I don't need the hay wheel. Which is working brilliantly. So first off, we have a comparator going in here. Out of the crafter. Yeah. Into the circuit here. And it goes into another comparator which compares that signal strength to the one of this book, and this book is on page 9, so it's giving a signal strength of 9. So the redstone signal only goes through if there is if this signal strength is bigger than that signal strength. So you'll see right again, this thing is working excellently. How are we still getting seeds in here though? Must be just an old build up in the hopper because these are definitely getting filtered out now. Let's see, let's drop this in here. So you'll see fills up and then it activates, and I think we only made bread accidentally once, so I think that was me messing around with how fast this thing is going. So anyways, if the signal strength is greater than 9, then it goes through. And that seems to be excellent because it gives it a bit of a delay. That means it actually the crafter activates it when it's 9 wheat plus 1 here in the top slot, because of the bit of delay, and I think that's working excellently here. This pushes the piston, the sticky piston, which sets up the observer clock, which will then pulse this. To be honest, we probably don't need this, because it's at the pace it's going just now. It just runs once, and then it spits out the dropper into the dropper, and then the dropper spits it out into the stream. So we probably don't need the observer clock, but if there is quite a large build-up, we do need it, so that's why I added it on. And I managed to just use repeaters here to ensure that it doesn't mess with the circuit from the item sorters. And yeah, it's working great, and I managed to squeeze it into a fairly small place as well. I mean, this isn't too bad. I could maybe make this one shorter, but I decided to just leave it like that. In fact, should I make it one shorter? No, I'm scared of it messing with that, because I do need to redstone dust, I think. Yeah, this is this is fine. So yeah, that's working great, and immediately spits out the compressed hay bales into here. So now we gotta take all of these wheat seeds and bone meal them, which is I think going to be just as complicated of a task, because we also need to then compress those. I think I might have overestimated the amount of bone meal this thing is going to produce. Turns out seeds have a very slim chance of actually composting, so we're not filling up too much. Here's what I've got set up now. We've got 9 double chests, which to be fair will fill out eventually, albeit quite slowly. And here is my compost. I ended up just doing 3, and I honestly think that might be too many. Like 1 or 2 will probably be enough, but we've got some just in case things start clogging up a little bit. And here's my setup. This is not on a clock. I end up just running. I did prepare a book and a quill and an electrum for this, and I realized I need to loop the signal anyways, so I might as well use that for the comparator as well and save the electrum for something else. So yeah, we've got bone meal here. And then once the signal strength is long enough to reach this thing, this is a very awkward thing, but I needed a repeater specifically here. So that makes it a bit of a weird angle, but that's just how it is. And then the crafter crafts the bone meal, and it shoots it out here. So, and the hoppers are actually going into the crafter here. You can just barely see which way they're facing. That one's going into the crafter, and I realized the crafter functions as a dropper, so I don't actually need this dropper set up here. It's just a remnant from when I set up originally, but I've kept it because I think me extending this water stream by 1 really doesn't make a difference. Droppers are quite cheap, and I'm probably gonna wash away my redstone. I've already done it once, and I don't want to do it again. But yeah, everything here is great. I'm hoping the lack of clock here isn't gonna be much of a issue, but it could be. So what I could see happening is if this builds up several stacks of bone meal in here, and it never crafts a block, then it never resets to 0 and never sends out another signal. That's what this one here is good for, is as long as there is a signal, it's gonna pulse. Thinking about it, maybe I should add a clock, because what could happen is it could load and unload and things could start glitching out, and the crafter will maybe not craft but have the bone meal in it somehow. I don't know. So yeah, thinking about it, I think I should set up a clock just on the off chance we get issues here. I think that's all we need, to be fair. Just a sticky piston. So we're gonna have to do a clock here. Let's do one together. And oh, I need to get my redstone blocks, aka the smooth stone. I'm trying to be good about using this, so it keeps everything a little bit more neat, I think, and it's nice to have a very specific block used for redstone. If you ever dig into it, you'll know what it's for. Right, okay, let's see. So we're gonna want this to extend a sticky piston. Okay, we're gonna... How do we do this? Got a clock going now. And if we just send a little pulse here. Right, let's drag it down. Good, good. And now we need a signal from up here to... Oh, how do we do this? without without activating the thing. You do it like that. Get more repeaters. Ah. I think I might have made a mistake somewhere. Wait, this should work. Uh-huh. Okay, 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 let's test this. This is the world's messiest redstone. Grab some bone blocks and convert them back into bone meal. And then I'm just gonna pop it in this hopper. Okay, it's going in. Oh, that worked, I think. Okay, let's check the chest, make sure we're not making white dye or anything. No. Okay, that's great. So now in theory, if... yeah, off it goes. If for some reason the crafter fills up, it's still gonna keep crafting even when there's multiple stacks and things. Now the question is, how do you get something like this to actually look good? One of the things we're gonna need to do is to have multiple chests for hay bales, I think, like we've done here. So this is gonna have to get moved. I'm thinking maybe this wall here. This water stream underneath here as well, I could probably move that somewhere else. So we're just gonna have maybe stairs or something coming down the side here. Or maybe that side. I don't know. It's gonna be very tricky to cover up this redstone and the farm itself whilst having the storage room be accessible and not too ugly, but we're gonna make it work. So let's dump all these chests, all the seeds in the chest. We get to watch this go off every so often, very slowly. But yeah, as you can see, it's not really clogging up even with that amount of seeds in there. It's all going through this one really fast. So that should be fine. Let's see, we're gonna want a lot of hoppers, kind of like we have here. Yeah, and then a water stream going around the side, maybe. There we go. That's the second storage system. I guess, just a bunch of chests in it. Yeah, it's completely the same setup as on this side. I just added a bit more chests, and hopefully this will do it. It's officially all organized and working. Fingers crossed. I've not seen any issues yet, but you never know with these things. If I leave the chunks, who knows what happens. So really, it's now time to decorate this. I think I'm going to bring this color palette down a bit and then slap this section here to be the floor. I can't really go any lower because of the water stream down here. But I can use different slabs for a bit of colour as well. And to be honest, that way most of the redstone is still accessible. I don't think we're cutting anything off here with the slabs. No, everything here is fine. So we're just gonna set up a door or something here to to walk through that. And yeah, I'm not really gonna bother with decorating too much of this part here. Maybe one day, but I really don't care. No one's ever gonna see the train track, the rail track for the wheat farm. So yeah, I'm just chuffed everything's working, and to be honest, that didn't take as long as I thought it would take. I've really been procrastinating on this, but it feels a lot better now that it's basically done. I just need to decorate it, which might be the hardest part actually. Ooh, I'm pretty proud of this. Check this out, guys. We have a little home base here now with an empty chest and just some stuff that you might need. I'm actually really struggling in the world with having nice spots to put beds in. I'm not just leaving them out because that's convenient, but I also do want to have buildings where I can actually spend the night, just to get rid of the phantoms, to be honest. Everything else is lit up, so nighttime is not really a problem anymore, but it is annoying. And we have a little secret passageway. Not very secret because trapdoors are pretty obvious, but here it is on the inside. Very, very narrow in here. It's kind of cozy vibe though with the colours. They're kind of nice and warm. And a lot of water sounds in here as well. You can, if you look closely, see through chests. I've not gone around fixing that. And I'll probably leave it for a little bit longer just to do some testing on here. Make sure that nothing definitely doesn't break. Nothing definitely doesn't break. That nothing breaks, or everything definitely doesn't break. And yeah, I'm just moving around the base, let the chunks load and unload, see what it's like. I don't know why I keep looking in the chest. It's kind of like a fidgety habit when I'm talking. But yeah, ideally I'll cover all of these up in a little bit to make it even nicer. But other than that, I don't think I'll do much much else work in here aside from cleaning up the chests. But yeah, oh, whoops, happy with this. Here's our redstone door. And yeah, that's definitely meant to happen. uh, there we go. A nice little spot to sleep in as well, which is really, really handy here. I definitely don't have anything in this area. I'm going to need to build another one in the castle somewhere I can sleep because my beds over there are all over the place. Let's have a look at the castle. What you'll actually notice is I was working on the terrain here a bit, and there wasn't any terraforming per se done. It was more of a I needed more land. I was wanting to work on the castle and especially start the throne room today, but I'm actually not feeling it too much. Like making big complicated buildings. I want this thing to be really good, so I want to build it when I'm in the mood to. But yeah, I was extending the terrain out here a little bit because I've realized there's actually not that much space here. I was kind of hoping there would be more. We're gonna have to build more vertically than horizontally, I think, for this thing, but it's time to demolish the igloo. But we are gonna leave the dungeon there because I think that's pretty cool, and it would make sense for that to be in a castle as well. But the igloo can go. This feels kind of nice to just get rid of this thing. It has been in the way for so long. This place looks so different now than it did at the start of the Let's Play. And yeah, get rid of this as well, replace it with some grass. Doesn't that just feel so much better? It's kind of sad to see a bit of history to go, but we're keeping the the important part of the igloo here. And it might be cute to like throw in a little fake igloo or something in here just to keep the spirit. Next thing I want to do, which is probably going to be the focus of today's episode, I was going to do more redstone, but I couldn't decide what to redstone. So we're going back to building, and it's actually this area here. I've marked out where the center of the path is going to be, and I want to work on the path because something about this whole section has been really bugging me. Something's not right with it. Obviously the wall's going to go around this side, so we're going to have a free bit of space here. I think this is where I'm going to put the armor, maybe the blacksmith. And in here, I think I want to put the fountain I tore down. I'm going to move it here and make it a little bit nicer. This could be like a little garden area. And then you have the big footpath over here leading into the castle, which to be fair, is probably going to start around this point. Right? So we got all this land here up until maybe like so, if you just go diagonally. Maybe not very precise, but something like this little section here and that section here of the ground. I want to make it really nice and grand. A really beautiful staircase path up with some gardens and the fountain. That's the plan. And yeah, I think the best way to get started with this is just to flatten out some more land and start putting in the stairs. I think once I decide on the color palette for those, it's going to be a lot easier to know what I'm doing with the rest of the thing. I'm not sure how I feel about that. How do I feel about that? I was thinking a cool color palette here would fit well with the theme of the gradients. So we kind of have everywhere around this town. But that feels a bit much. Maybe it's the dark color of nether brick. Maybe it's too clashing. Or we could invert the pattern and have the dark color be at the castle gate. But I kind of like the idea of it going up into white. I think let's get rid of this. Don't know what I'll replace it with, but nether brick is definitely kind of looking off here. I guess I got so focused on the gradient part of this going into the quartz that I kind of neglected to think about the quartz on this side. So how would we fix this, huh? Is there a block here that would go well between stone and dark red? In fact, I would tough look here. Horrendous. I hate that so much. It's a very nice contrast though. I was actually thinking about using tough blocks here because they're so contrasty as a trim for this the stairs here. Almost like that. I don't know what I'm doing here, but we're just putting blocks down to get a vibe of how it's going to feel. And that's okay, I think. It's so hard to tell with this grass here. Actually, let's get rid of that as well. And a little bit more grass here. Because these are stairs, I'm a bit limited in the gradient I can make because you have to use slabs. Like the red terracotta here I think goes perfectly between these two blocks. That's why we kinda... Did we use red terracotta there? I don't think we did. What's up with that string? And that string, that needs fixing. We didn't actually end up using red terracotta, did we? No, I think that's red concrete. Oh well. Well, I think the red terracotta goes perfectly between these two blocks, but there's no slab or stair variant of it. Don't know why. I think the game would benefit from it, but then again, restriction does breed creativity, so we're gonna have to get creative here. How did I get light great carpet in my inventory? Okay. Alright, let's go back to brainstorming here. What can we do here? In fact, do I even like the tough blocks here? I always feel like the dark color needs to be here at the sides. This is too much of a neutral color, maybe. Maybe we put the spruce. We could do spruce, or we could do nether brick here. Thinking spruce logs, dark oak. Here's spruce. Spruce or nether brick here. Okay, let's try both. And okay, that's all we have. Yeah, the spruce definitely goes a bit better. I think the nether brick, it's got too much of a cool tone to it. It's quite a cool tone purple. And I think we would need either a warmer purple, which I don't know if we have in a game, in a stairs or slab form. I don't know. Alright, I've changed my mind. And I think we're going to do the inverse of what we've done here. So this here is a lovely gradient that goes from lighter to darker, or darker to lighter, depending how you see it. And it's fairly neutral in colors. It's a bit more cool toned than anything else, but it's fairly neutral. And I think we're going to do the inverse of what is here. So it goes here, right at the top is the lightest color. We're actually going to do the opposite here, and we're going to use the lightest color at the bottom here to fit with the plaza. And then once we have this down, we're going to move up into the dark color right at the top as we sort of go into the castle. I think that could look really cool, and then we can transition that dark slate, deep slate, the dark deep slate into some other colors. I kind of do want to have a red carpet kind of feeling almost as you walk in, and I think we could do that with the nether bricks into the red nether bricks. Do we have any deep slate on us? I'm so unprepared, but I really want to show this example. Aha, deep slate. So we could right at the top do it's quite a rough contrast actually putting it down like this, but it might not be so bad because there's going to be an entranceway, right? So this is going to make a very clear divide. This is the path. Path. You're in the castle, okay? So this nether brick, yes, nether brick, could mark like a really nice gateway kind of area, and then start walking on the red carpet. Not the literal one though. the red nether brick slab carpet. There we go, that looks a lot better. Still not perfect. I think I forgot to curve the stairs in. There, you can very clearly tell where the curve starts and where it doesn't. Oops. And I also think the nether brick is still really standing out, and I think if we remove the curve on it and just make it flat, it's going to very clearly show where the castle begins. But I'm happy with the progress there, so I'm going to start working on the railings, the trims, and all that jazz on it. Oh, I'm quite happy with this. Have a look, guys. I added a red trim, and I think this works really well, actually. And I'm quite happy with the stairs as well. At least from down here they look good. I've not went up there yet, but I'm certain this is gonna look good. And we have a little bit of transition here with the andesite as well. And honestly, really, really chuffed for this. So next up on the to-do list is this section here. Fountain's going to go somewhere around here, and then we're going to have a nice garden, I think. Let's see exactly where the snow starts, around here. I guess you can tell by the grass color. So we have this whole section here. We're not going to get any snow on, so let's put in some flower beds in here, I think, and maybe another tree or something, because this skyline is looking very flat so far, and I think it could really do with some variation in not just tall buildings but kind of mid eye level points of interest here. Like all of the the stalls are kind of the same height, which was really a mistake on my part. I might have to go back and change that, because that's a big reason why this place is looking a little bit boring and repetitive. Even with the lanterns here and the signposts, they're also all on the same height. This isn't so bad because you do go up a level and then go back down. So I'm happy with this area. Yeah, this is quite nice, but yeah, on top of there, it is very, very repetitive. So we're gonna try to break that up a bit on the side, with just things that are short, things that are sort of mid-level, things that are tall, not as tall as buildings, but you know, like a tree or something. Even this tree really is maybe a bit too short because it's only 2 blocks, I think, 2 blocks above the signpost gates here. So yeah, we might need to work on that actually. You know, I have been playing this game for a very, very, very long time, and I think this is my first time learning. My first time finding out that rain actually waters cropland. I did not know that at all. Like, I think I always just put water down. But yeah, that's cool to know. So it's gonna dry out as soon as it stops raining, I suppose. I don't know if I've ever shown this on camera, but there's a little trick I use to get a tall tree that doesn't look too bad without having to make a whole custom tree, and that is just to pillar up a couple blocks and then make the tree and replace some of the pillar with wood. I think it's the easiest way, to be honest, to get a fairly decent looking tree. I mean, you can add on to it if you want. Inventory is a mess, sorry guys. Add on to it if you want, but this, yeah, that already looks a lot better. Although I don't like the direction it's facing. It's facing in the exact same way as that tree is, and I kind of hate it. So we're actually gonna have to tear this one down and try again. Have you guys ever played Animal Crossing New Horizons? It could have been a feature in the other Animal Crossing games, but I personally never tried them. I got Animal Crossing New Horizons during the first week it came out, and I want to say that was in 2020. I had a lot of free time on my hand. Hello, trader. Had a lot of free time on my hand. Where are you? Um, you know what? I'm good, thank you. And one of my favorite things in the game, one of those little touches, was how the flowers you planted kind of combined to make an in-between color of the flowers in the middle. So say you had, I don't know, you had red flowers and you planted white flowers next to them, and in between, the spot in between them, you would get a pink flower every so often. And that's how you would basically unlock new colors of flowers. And I thought it was such a cute touch to the game. I don't know, I just really enjoyed that mechanic. It made it so you came up with some different color combinations to unlock new stuff. And yeah, I really loved it. So I actually wanted to try something kind of similar here. If we go up, there we go. You can see I've gone for, well, actually, this is a really bad angle to show you guys. That does not look good from above. But I think it looks pretty good from down here. Yeah, we got the red at the bottom and the sort of white and yellow at the top. And in between we have little bits, just little tiny touches of orange flowers. And I think it actually looks really good from the other side as well, because you have the sunflowers then. It's very hard to get a good angle on it now that I put the fountain in, but overall, thanks llamas. You kind of get the feeling I was going for. And I think it just makes a really nice, really nice flower garden here. And did put the fountain in and got my tree up. And the fountain's very simple. I'm doing a little bit of an experiment. I think it's working. I wanted to see, of course, because we are in the Snowy Plains biome, whether this water down here would freeze, even though it's 2 blocks away from a very strong light source, aka glowstone. And it doesn't seem to be freezing, which is great. Our fountain's gonna stay nice and warm. I do have ways around it by using stairs, but it's just the stairs are quite taxing on your quartz. And I always run out of quartz, so I just use full blocks. And yeah, I think that works pretty well. I could, whoops, did not mean to do that. My pick absolutely tears through boards, but I done it again. I could try these to be waterlogged slabs, I guess. But it's not freezing, so we're just gonna keep on using full blocks. That's why I had on hand. I know it's not very mathematically good to use full blocks instead of slabs if I'm low on quartz, but it's done now. I put it in, and yeah, it's an alright fountain. I didn't want it to take up too much space, and I think it looks good from afar, which is the most important thing. Is it gives it a little bit of luxury feeling here, whereas the rest of the garden maybe doesn't, because it's very simple. We don't have many decorations. I thought about putting in some sort of leaves or anything in between here, but we're gonna keep it simple. Oh boy, this is looking pretty good. Uh-huh. I end up completely changed this. Look at that. Look at this gate of belt. Wait. Oh, how beautiful is that? That little torch there is really bothering me, and it probably will bother you guys now that you see this, but oh my god, look at it go. I'm waiting for the sun to perfectly line up, if that's what you're waiting for. If that's what you're curious about, I'm waiting for. Oh, I'm so in awe. I can't speak, indeed. Let's look at this thing. I added a little walkway here with some sandstone. It's a very tight squeeze, and I end up walking on slabs most of the time, but it looks good, and that's what's important. In fact, that's bothering me. Let's get rid of that. This should be consistent. It's not 100% perfect and could do with a little bit of double checking everything here. For example, what is that? It's not finished, but I'm quite happy with it. And the gate is probably my favorite part. Oh yeah, look at that. That's gorgeous. So I ended up tearing down that big tree because I found that it was a bit too big and it was clashing. It wasn't working well, so I ended up using these fake spruce trees, thinner ones, and I think that helps a lot to break up the heights of the sort of view line without it being as bulky as the other tree. And I also wanted to have this sort of almost manufactured feel to it. If you have a look at gardens in castles or other historic places, anything kind of fancy and posh, they tend to have these very professionally kept manicured gardens. It's very hard to recreate that in Minecraft without scale because by the nature of it, flower beds can be quite bulky and it's hard to stack a lot of flowers at once, and when you do stack them, they're kind of planted in different corners, if that makes sense. Like they're not perfectly even. Even. Why can't I say the word even? They're not perfectly even. Like the tulips, they don't line up, you know? So it makes it quite hard to give that impression that I was going for here. But I think having these sort of really perfect looking fig trees helps. I did try having some that looked a bit less natural, like this one's uneven. And I think I'm gonna change it. Try to go more natural, but I think this fake look really works here with the image I was going for. It really does. And I love this kind of almost squiggly line effect that you get in the gate, especially as you go further away and you can kind of see the silhouette of it. Oh, that looks so good. I'm gonna replicate this gate, or duplicate rather is probably a better word. I'm gonna duplicate this gate right here. Where this starts. Yeah, probably around here. As you go into the castle, it's gonna actually function as part of the castle walls, I think. And I think having two of them stacked up is going to look really, really gorgeous. And it gives this grandness to the place, right? Even without the castle built. Okay, let's do a little walk through here. This is our big city gates, or town gates, I guess. 100% unfinished on this end, but this part looks really good. If you pretend you can't see anything because there's going to be a big wall on both sides, you walk in, and you go in here. And I don't know, I think it kind of works. You got this really tall structure at the top here, kind of mid-height level structure here, and a sort of slightly taller one. So each section looks a little bit different, and it catches your eye, and I think that looks really good. And then you have this really tall building over here, and then we're gonna have another really tall building over there, and it's I'm so excited to build it. But unfortunately, I think I have to stop here for today because I might overload building materials and I just want to get the video out, so I'm not gonna do my resource gathering on camera or delay the episode for it. But specifically I'm out of blaze rods for the copper bulbs. I am also out of copper. That's all I've got, 23 blocks and some ingots, which is not ideal. And I think I need to fix up some of my tools and get some other gear. I think a sandstone is probably one of those I'm running a bit low on as well, and quartz. I'm always out of quartz, so yeah, gonna need to do that. Before we finish though, let's just check. I thought I might actually go the entire way without taking full damage. Let's just check and make sure everything is working fine here, because I actually haven't looked at it ever since finishing it, and it's been a long time. So go down here. Yeah, okay. Whoa, look at that one fill up. Okay. Oh no, that's the one we put stuff manually in, didn't we? Let's see. Right, we're getting some hay. I think this was probably unloaded. We're not getting anything that's not hay or bones in here. That's good. Here we do stuff. The filters aren't broken. This isn't full. And let's check the other crafter as well. You're not full. Great. Everything's working perfectly then. I think the chunks were probably unloaded because I would have... oh, I forgot about these chests. I'm going to have to clear it. Whoops. A lot of things are organized. Oh yeah, that was the minecart picking something up. Let's see. Okay, it's probably been unloaded because there's not as much stuff in there as I thought there would be. But on the other hand, I think that's fine. We don't need to constantly load it. It must be just slightly out of range. Although I'm pretty sure my simulation distance is quite high, but hey ho, it's not broken, and that's the only thing that matters. Anyways, this area is really coming together now, and I'm so happy with it. I'm glad I decided to have a little garden area here with the new fountain. I think overall looks good. It's been not too busy of an episode for me. I've been taking it a bit slower, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. I know there's not been as much building or progress as normally, but we did do some redstone, and that always tires out my brain. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope to catch you next episode. Bye bye!